Alright guys, this is Kools coming to you from Team King of Games, and I will present to you a new build of Fire Kings. Before we get into this deck profile, I want to address something really quick. When we make deck profiles here at Team King of Games, we don't do any deck profile specifically to one person. We make our deck profiles to entertain everyone. We don't single anyone out unless it's like unless they requested something and we make it. But that's just in a request. When we make a video, it's for everyone's entertainment. If you're not happy with the deck profile that was placed on that was posted and uploaded, all you gotta say is I don't like it. Can you make it better? Or can you make a serious version, like a version where you would take to tournaments? Like, I'm not pointing any fingers, but I mean, if he watches this video, he'd know who I'm talking about, but I'm not pointing any fingers. But my point is, anytime we make anything, it's for everyone's entertainment. If you don't like it, all you need to say is you don't like it. You don't need to be upset about it in the comments. That's unnecessary and unwanted. So all you gotta say is I don't like it. Can you make a more serious build? So with that being said, let's jump right into this deck profile, guys. So just like normal, 2 copies of High Avatar King Garunix. I call him King. He's not. He's King of Fire Island. But I don't know why that's not in his name. But he's just King. Like he's Fire King, High Avatar Garunix. Yeah, whatever. How about Fire King, High King, Avatar Garunix? Because this dude's a beast. If he's destroyed by card effect, on the very next standby that happens, he special summons himself and dark holes the board. And if he's destroyed by card effect, he can special summon any Fire King from the deck. So, pretty damn good boss monster, you know. Moving on to 3 copies of Agni Mazut. Agni Mazut destroys 2 fire monsters in my hand to special summon himself and banish a monster on the field. So he works beautifully with Fire Kings, always will and always has been, ever since he came out himself, because Fire Kings came out first. But ever since his release, I wish I would have known about Fire Kings when the True Kings were released. And I would have did this build a very, very long time ago. Well, not this specific build, but builds with Agni Mazut inside the Fire Kings. Now, the main reason why I built this deck is Cataclysmic Scorching Sunburner. Now, so this card came out in Savage Strike, and I was just going through my Savage Strike pulls, and I came across this card, and like the other day, actually, I just came across it, and I read his effect. His effect says that if a fire monster is destroyed by battle or card effect, he special summons himself, and he can burn my opponent for half the attack of one of those monsters. So, Agni Mazut is my strongest monster, so if he's just randomly destroyed and I have him in my hand, I'll special summon him and burn my opponent for half of 29. Half of 29 is 1450. Yeah, good 1450. So that's 50 points. That's 50 points shy of activating Solomon Strike. So to me, that's not a bad burn whatsoever. So if he's out there burning stuff alive, so he was my main reason for building this specific build, because he burns, and his effect is on when fire monsters are when they're destroyed. He burns. He specials himself and burns, but he needs to be in hand for that to happen. If it was in grave, also, and or grave, that would be so busted. he probably would actually get banned because he would be probably teched in a lot of Salamangreats. But he is the reason I am building this deck. Cataclysmic Scorching Sunburner. 3 copies of Fire King Avatar Barong. Barong is the searcher of the deck. He whenever he's destroyed by card effect, well, whenever he's destroyed, the very next standby phase, he searches any Fire King card. And if a fire monster is destroyed, he special summons himself from hand. Now we've got Fire King Arvata. Arvata is the best Fire King card. His effect is when a monster effect is activated, quick effect, negate it by destroying any fire monster on field or in hand. So great ass play is normal summon Arvata and have him in hand, and Arvata's effect to negate the effect, to negate the activation, doesn't destroy the card, but it negates the activation by destroying a fire monster in field or hand. So if this is in hand, destroy it. Next standby phase, he comes back and dark holes the whole board except for himself. So that right there is a pretty strong play on its own. And Arvata's other effect is that whenever he's destroyed, he can special summon a Fire King from the graveyard. So they have so much synergy with each other, it's ridiculous. Like he can send him, destroy, or activate the spell, destroy him, special him. There's combos with just these 2 cards and possibly the spell that goes along with it. Moving on to the rest of the monsters, which will be Ash Blossom. Like I told y'all before, now that the Sunburner structure deck released Ash Blossom, common Ash Blossoms, I will have Ash Blossoms in every deck I build now. So Ash will always be included in everything. Also, Effect Veiler. So I wanted to at least have 5 hand traps. I was gonna do 6, but I didn't like how it draw. I like to, even though I might not play, I am definitely gonna play with this build. I don't know what the fuck I was about to say, but I will definitely play with this build. So I mean, actually, there's only one or maybe 2 deck profiles I've done on here that I never played with. No, I don't think there may be any. Every deck I make, I've actually played with, except for this one. I will play with this build. And then after I play with this build, because this is a build already, and after I play with it, I will probably make a serious build for Fire Kings, a build that I like acting if I would take it to a regionals. Like, this is a build I would take to locals or something, you know? But that's it of my monsters. Moving on to the spells. This is the card I was talking about earlier. Circle of the Fire Kings. It says target one fire monster I control, and 1 fire monster I have in the graveyard. Destroy the first target and special summon the second target. So if I have a Fire King in the graveyard and a fire monster, and I have Arvata on field, I can activate this, destroy Arvata, and special summon the other fire monster, and then using Arvata's effect to special summon a Fire King from the graveyard. So just with this card and Arvata, I can pretty much special summon 2 monsters from the graveyard. So this is the best spell of Fire Kings. This is the #1 card of Fire Kings. 3 copies of Tinky. Tinky is another searcher of the deck. It searches out level 4 lower Beast Warrior monsters, and both of my level 4 Fire Kings are Beast Warrior. So that's 6 monsters. This is three spells to search it out. Pretty even. 1 copy of Fire King Island. Fire King Island is only necessary at 1 in this specific build, even though it's kind of centered around destroying everything. But that's the main reason why I only run the 1 copy. It's centered around destroying everything. So I don't want anything. I don't want this to get destroyed while it's on field. I mean, I don't mind. It's gonna help me out, but I only need one copy. Literally, it can be searched out. But once it hits grave, I might not need it at that point at all. So, and I only run the one, and its effect is that I can destroy any card, and any card in my hand or on field, and search out a Fire King level 4 or lower Fire King monster. And its other effect is that if I control no monsters, I can special summon one Fire Wing Beast from my hand. So automatic, I can literally just, if I have no monsters in my hand and I have Fire King Island, I can just special summon him out of my hand. That's who it's triggered for. And one copy of Onslaught of the Fire Kings. This says if I control no cards, no monsters, and my opponent controls monsters, I can special summon a fire monster from my deck, basically. Well, it's a fire beast, winged beast. I'm sorry, beast warrior, or winged beast, but fire attribute. So pretty much any fire monster in my deck except for the soul burner, because that's a fairy. The one copy of the Artstar Goblin, and one copy of Rekindling. Rekindling just works in this deck so well to the point to where I could not resist putting Cataclysmic Scorching Sunburner in the deck. Sorry about that. I am a little under the weather right now. But Cataclysmic Scorching Sunburner has 200 defense. If he is in the graveyard, Rekindling will special him. And that's what I like most about him. He may his card type might not have any synergy with the deck. He's a fairy. His card type might not have any synergy with the deck at all, but his attribute and his effect and his defense have synergy with the deck. So, and since he burns, I kind of had to use him. The last of my spells, 2 copies of Misty. I just run the Misty because in today's Yu-Gi-Oh, this current format and probably next format, Misty is very, very useful. Like, even, I forgot what the name of it was, but something Cyclone, or some Cyclone something. Pay 1,000 life points and banish a spell trap on the field. Whatever that's called, I forgot. But you know what I'm talking about. I just gave you the entire effect. But 2 Misties, that's it for the spells. Moving on to the traps. Like I said, the deck was pretty much kind of built around what this card does and what this card can do for the deck itself by itself. So that's kind of how I built the deck around. So pretty much the first thing came to mind was the battle phase. And I said pretty much, if this card does absolutely nothing but burn, I'm going to need something else to survive battle phases. So, Threatening Roar. Threatening Roar helps so much. It would help a lot. I have not actually played with the deck just yet, but I will. I intend on it. It's just, I just had a son and life is busy. Threatening Roar would come into play so strong to the point to where I could burn my opponent the same turn I activate Threatening Roar, do damage on their turn, and on my turn do damage because I'm still alive because of Threatening Roar. Not every deck burns, and not every deck can deal damage without a battle deck, but without a battle step. So then that came into Torrential Tribute. This is a platinum rarity, by the way. Torrential Tribute. Since I want to destroy everything and never get hit, Torrential Tribute seemed like the best way to go. I wanted to do 3 copies of Threatening Roar, 2 copies of Torrential, but the truth is I could only find 2 copies of Threatening Roar. I have a third. I have a third copy of Threatening Roar, but to be honest, I really couldn't freaking find it. So, Threatening Roar is not as strong as I would like it to be in this build, But once I find my third copy, I will do some reconstruction and get that third copy in here. So you see what I mean? You're starting to understand why the deck is built the way it is because of Cataclysmic Scorching Sunburner. Yeah, he's pretty freaking cool. His artwork is dope. He looks really, really dope. And the fact that he's a Cataclysmic Scorching Sunburner, meaning basically he is a Fire King. Basically, he is a Fire King without the name, which sucks. And he has 200 defense. And he's a freaking fairy. So he's pretty much, I guess, like, their god in the sky or whatever. But he was pretty much the star of the deck. And because of him, I did come across this card also in the Soul Burner structure deck, Backfire. Now, Backfire is a beautiful, beautiful trap that I wish wasn't a trap card. I wish it was just a continuous spell. Continuous spell would be so much better than a continuous trap in this situation, because all it says is if a face-up fire monster you control is destroyed or sent to the graveyard, inflict 500 life points to your opponent. So, that doesn't count for anything coming out, getting destroyed out of my hand, but it says, face up, destroyed. A lot of my monsters face up on the field not only would get destroyed, they get destroyed pretty often. So, having this card at the ready pretty much would seal the deal in winning games with this deck. These cards combined in a specific turn where I can destroy a lot of my monsters. So let's say I have 3 fire monsters, Torrential, and this guy. And one of my fire monsters is Agnemizud. So by himself, activate Torrential Tribute. By himself, that's 1450, and 3 other monsters, that's 5, 10, 15. That's literally almost 3K. That's literally 15 points, 50 points shy of a 3K burn. That's literally 2950. That's literally getting hit directly with Agnemizud plus 50. Literally. Like, oh my god, I cannot wait to play with the deck. I don't know about its synergy. I mean its consistency. I have no idea about its consistency. How well it's gonna draw. I don't know. I have no idea. I did test it out just a little bit, but test hands are nothing for a deck that doesn't have a lot of combos and doesn't necessarily access the extra deck crazy like. To finish up the main deck, the last 3 traps are 3 Solemn Strikes. So you see what I mean by the deck is pretty much just kind of circled around this guy, since he does nothing but burn, and his attack is only 26. He doesn't do a lot, per se. He doesn't do a lot. He does burn. The highest amount he can burn is 1450. That's not a bad burn. So, 1450 is more than 1,000. So, if I can hit for a good amount and then burn again and then burn again, I mean, you're pretty much dead at that point. Moving on to the Dexter deck. 1 copy of number 84 Pain Gainer. I have 4 monsters that can special themselves pretty easily in this deck that are level 8, and he requires a dark level 8, 9, or 10 monster to exceed summon over it, and my rank 8 is Sir Lancelot, number 23. So I'll go into Lancelot, then go into Pain Gainer. Well, I'll attack directly first with Lancelot, then go into Pain Gainer, and then activate Pain Gainer's effect and end my turn. Pain Gainer's effect is to, it says that he gains 200 defense for every XYZ monster on the field per star, per exceed star. So this one, if there's only this one on the field, it's only going to gain 22 defense because he's a 11-star monster. I lost my train of thought. The rest of his effect, wherever I was on his effect, he gains 22 defense from, yeah, I said that already. He gains 22 defense from how many stars are on the field of Exceed monsters. And so he would gain 22 defense. So the rest of the effect is that he can destroy all monsters on the field with 22 or less defense. So he can just really, really wipe the field like crazy. And his other effect is that it's continuous. It says, for every spell my opponent resolves, they burn for 600 life points. So I burn a lot with this deck. I burn a lot. The rest of the extra deck, this is actually probably going to be the whole extra deck that I use for a serious build, a serious Fire King build. I don't have a lot of Link monsters, so I have to pretty much exceed at specific times. Number 39, number 39, number 39. So that's one thing I would use because I could get to rank 4 faster than I can get to a rank 8, and then do that and pretty much just kill my opponent using Utopia Lightning, because lightning is pretty powerful. During the battle phase, he negates all monster effects while he attacks, and while he attacks he gains 25 attack, and he already has 25 attack, so that's 5k. Moving on to the rest of the extra deck would be Exciton Knight, Dark Rebellion Dragon, Tiger King. Those are the rest of the Exceed monsters, rank 4s. They're of course very situational. If I'm just trying to push past whatever is going on with my opponent, I'll use Tiger King to negate the current effects on the field so I can beat over certain monsters that have gotten high in attack and it's because of a monster effect. Use Tiger King, negate all of that, destroy those monsters. Dark Rebellion, if I'm just trying to OTK, he'll gain attack from attack lost off of an opponent. And Exciton Knight wipes the field of all cards. So they're all just kind of extenders in their own way. And the only 3 Link monsters I play are, of course, the Underclock, the Doolittle, and the Phoenix. The exact same as the last Fire King True King deck profile is the same. For the OTK, if I need them. Well, still for the OTK, because I might need a back row gone if I'm going to attack directly, But that is the new Fire King deck profile I had for you guys. Completely centered around Cataclysmic Scorching Sunburner. And I'm glad that I was able to come up with this build with him in it, because at first I didn't want to, because I'm like, well, this is going to be kind of difficult trying to incorporate this guy in, and all he does is burn, and he doesn't necessarily help the deck in any way. So I'm glad that I was able to come up with a build to utilize him. This is Kools signing out from Team King of Games. You guys have a good day. Peace out. Don't hurt your brain cells. Don't do drugs. Stay out of trouble. Peace.